Sports Professor Rick Horrow. Sports Professor Rick Horrow, welcome to the $1.3 trillion business of sports beyond the scoreboard. Deal making, marketing, law, business, politics. We got it all covered. Biggest issues in sports are right here. If you want to see all 15 in one place, look at our at horrowsports.com, NBCWashington.com, the 15 to watch. Also, the 5 top tech issues of the week and the 5 top philanthropic issues of the week. And also subscribe to us on our Apple Podcast, Audio Boom, Google Play, Stitcher, iTunes feed. Look for us all over the place where kick butt content is given out or is sold. When you think about some of the issues this week, we are still reeling, or at least recovering, from an incredible World Cup. Reeling is the wrong word, because recovering and staying excited is really the key. But before we get into that, Baseball All-Star Week left an indelible mark as well. Major League Baseball, Minor League Baseball, T-Mobile, and the All-Star Week took hashtag hats off for heroes. The telecom giant T-Mobile donating $250,000 to Little League Baseball and softball. They've been the official MLB partner since 2013. $600,000 for charity, 312 home runs. The home run derby was incredible. Not just Alonso and not just Guerrero, but the whole charitable piece of this. Alonso, by the way, wins $1 million, and he gives away $50,000 to the tunnels to towers, the first responders, and $50,000 to the wounded warriors. His grandfathers were both involved, his families of first responders, and he makes, by the way, a lot of that stuff, and the bottom line is, at the end of the day, it doubles his $550,000 salary, and he basically makes $1 million, but gives some to charity. Strong, exciting precedent for philanthropy with young supporters of the game. Very, 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 very impressive. Not only that, but minor league baseball continues to outdraw and outshine. $73.8 million, 4.2 increase over the 2017 record total. The 25 list of the top 25 in licensed merchandise. Get some of these names: Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, the Gwinnett Stripers, the Hartford Yard Goats, the Rochester Red Wings, pretty conservative. How about the Richmond Flying Squirrels, the Albuquerque Isotopes, the Corpus Christi Hooks, the Columbia Fireflies, on and on and on. You may remember I recently spoke with Octagon EVP Woody Thompson, and he said baseball has done a really great job from a municipal standpoint. The engagement with the cities has been fantastic, and the cities have really gotten behind it. Baseball has a place in this country, the hearts and minds of everybody, whether you're a kid or an adult. Baseball's certainly for you. And you know what else is for you? The $73.8 million in retail sales and the basic legacy that what these franchises have done, all 160 of them, in grassroots America, is something that nobody, politicians or anybody else, should choose to ignore. Well, last week I had an opportunity of spending some time at the Association of Luxury Suite Directors, which is really a misnomer. It's more of a sports marketing conference in Chicago. And who would be the current best Chicagoan Hall of Famer to make the case of what baseball is like these days? Jim Thome. 612 home runs, 22 years, 1991 through 2012, 2018 induction in the Hall of Fame, White Sox front office right now, and he obviously has a very, very important message for kids, for not quitting, for all of the things that he brought to the table. It was really, really good to co-MC the conference and catch up with Jim Thome. Sports Professor Rick Horrow in the boardroom beyond the scoreboard. Jim Thome, an amazing athlete, even more after Hall of Fame. So thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
This is the Association of Luxury Suite Directors organization. It's really morphed into a sports marketing organization as well. Everybody who's anybody in the business now. Tell me, as somebody who helped define the business by providing the entertainment, what your perspective of the business of sports is today, how it's grown, where it's come from?
I think it's amazing, and I think in all sports, I think social media, I think front office, from just the whole dynamic of how the front office today, the marketing teams, your media relations teams are doing a fabulous job of promoting our sport and their organization. It's working in the front office with the White Sox. It's a pleasure and an honor for me to be in baseball after you retire, right, but then kind of learn all the little things, the fun things about the game, and promote our players. That's what it's about, is the players.
Yeah. And so actually on-field stuff first. You're a star growing up, but when did it hit you that you were going to be a successful big leaguer, and then when did it hit you again that you might have been Hall of Fame caliber?
Well, I think hard work through the minor leagues. I mean, as a baseball player, we're so superstitious. You never really think you ever got it figured out, yeah, because we go through such a roller coaster up and down ride. As far as the Hall of Fame, nobody ever envisions that. I think once you play your career and then you let the people that vote, you let the industry figure all that out, that's when it kind of hits you like, okay, maybe this is something that could happen. And when it did, it was an amazing feeling.
Did you, did it hit you all at once? Did you kind of know after the call that it was gradually sloping to, man, I can't believe this, and then at Cooperstown when he actually gave the speech, when did it finally hit you?
Well, when I got the call, that's when it really hit you. That's when, that's when you realize, oh my, your dream, this dream after you retire is finally, come true. And, and then the preparation for the Hall of Fame, your speech, you're making sure your family's there, setting up, the whole weekend, making sure that all goes smooth. And then when you get there, being in that great fraternity with those incredible players is just such a thrill and honor.
And the golf game at the Leatherstocking probably
yes,
was pretty big.
That Saturday afternoon is amazing.
That whole event. So when you look back at your career, your greatest adversity, your greatest challenge, and how do you overcome it?
I think my greatest adversity was my throwing. I had some throwing issues playing the infield. I played third base. Buddy Bell, who actually worked for us with the White Sox, who actually was a big part of hiring me to come aboard, but Buddy really helped me with my defense, and that to me it was hard. I was a very young player. I had not yet mastered all the little things that I needed to do to become an everyday player. And when Buddy helped me and I finally figured it out, then I got moved over to first base, which was a great move for me. And then obviously later in my career I got to be the DH. So the biggest adversity was probably my throwing issues as a young kid, and then overcoming that. It felt great to know you've put in all this hard work.
Is that batting stance self-taught?
It's taught by Charlie Manuel. Charlie Manuel was an instructor, hitting guy that we had in Cleveland, and Charlie is an amazing man. I owe him everything. He kind of, I was a young third baseman that kind of sprayed the ball around the field, and he transformed me, got me on the plate, moved me closer, opened my hips up, the point the bat stance, which relaxed me. All of it there's a meaning behind all of it, which is really a cool story. And then I think the player's got to go out and work and ultimately get it done on the field, but you will always have that guy, and for me, Charlie Manuel was that guy that helped transform that.
And obviously you had some talent getting into the game, but hard work, perseverance, tenacity was the key to your success. How important were those traits in the front office?
Absolutely. I think you got to keep that hard work. You got to, that tenacity, the same feeling, and apply it to anything you do in baseball, whether you're in the front office, whether you're in sales, whether you're in player development. We're all together. We're a team. And, to be able to now become a team with the other side of the game that I never knew, is a thrill. I'm really enjoying it.
Broadly defined, is the business of baseball going in the right direction?
I think it is. I think it's all about the youth. I think our young players are exciting. I do hope they keep some of the older guys around, because I think teams need older veteran guys that can guide and help the manager and also be another leader on the field and take some of the pressures off the manager and the coaches. But I'll tell you what, our young players they're incredible. They've really done a tremendous job at how they go about their work. And I mean, the talent right now is off the charts.
Well, it's easy because they have you to look up to. I mean, that's the bottom line of it, right? So here's the final question of it. You don't have to agree. We all agree. We all agree they have him to look up to.
Thank you.
So the average Major League Baseball salary 50 years ago was $29,303. Okay, today it's over $4.5 million. Bottom line was, were you born about 10, 12, 15 years too early?
I would not say that. You know what? I was just blessed and so fortunate to be in a time that we had great leaders. We had guys before me that did the right thing and put, I think, baseball in a position to where it is now from a financial end. And I think you got to look back at all the great players, all the older players that sacrificed things through our union to get us where we're at. And we thank them so much. And that'll go on. In 20 years, they'll do the same for the guys today. And it's really important to keep that tradition of our union.
It is absolutely fun, and it's interesting to hear it because friends are in the same position who played some of it. Mike Schmidt, some of the same guys, asked the same question, same darn answer. And the history of the game and the legacy to carry on to the next generation, really important.
Yeah, and I think it says a lot about our union, how they've educated us, and we feel that love and that importance to give that back to them because we know how important it was.
You have a very important position, finally, is that you have respect from the union. You have a imprimatur, some credibility of the union, your management. There is labor. Rob Manfred and his guys, it's a $9 billion industry. You think people are getting along? You think labor peace will predominate over time?
Oh, I think it always works itself out. Sure. At the end of the day, everyone wants what's great, and that's to keep our game active, keep promoting our game, and it is about the players. The players make the game, and but also on the reverse end, the fans are probably the most important because without the fans, we wouldn't be where we're at, and I think that's as important as anything.
He was great on the field. My prediction, he's even be better off the field. Jim Thome, thank you very much. Really
appreciate it.
Well, Jim Thome is certainly somebody that I was honored to be around, and he is a Hall of Famer, no doubt. A guy who hit 612 home runs deserves to be a little bombastic. He is not. He is arrogant. He is not arrogant. He has tremendous humility. He's one of the guys. That's what makes him special. Well, let's go across the pond. I'm going over there tomorrow. The Open holds court in Northern Ireland. The RNA has increased its prize money for this year's Women's Open by 40% to a total purse of $4.5. The Royal Portrush winner makes $1.89 million. The whole pot for the women is significantly lower. The winner gets $675,000. The whole pot for the men, $10.75 on the men's side. Next month, the Women's British Open takes place at Woburn, August 1 through 4, the first under the tournament's new 5-year sponsorship, with finance and insurance firm AIG signing the deal in November to replace electronics company Ricoh. The bottom line of all of that, though, is that ready for some golf. It's a big-time opportunity, and when you think about it, it is probably the beginning of and the middle of sports in England like we haven't seen before. Wimbledon, the Grand Prix at Silverstone, the Cricket Championship at Lord's, the Men's Open, and the Women's Open. 5 big-time events with over $1 billion of economic impact all over England. Let's talk football, then we'll end with the other kind of football. NFL and the Players Union in the midst of negotiating a new collective bargaining agreement. Owners are pushing for an 18-game regular season. It may add more than $15 million to the salary cap, $2.5 billion in annual revenue. That's what'll get their attention. The additional 2 games could reduce the average NFL career span from 3.3 to 2.8 years, according to NFLPA career estimates. And that's significant because players don't become eligible for post-career benefits until they played 3 years. One potential solution that owners have proposed, 18 games, but only allow each player to play in 16 of them so they don't dilute the product. The debate, by the way, is not going anywhere soon, so prepare to hear a lot more about it as the NFL season gets underway. How about soccer? Last week, a ticker tape parade through New York. Now, back to reality. Portland, 18,000 fans a game. Utah, 11,000. But the other 7 franchises average fewer than 5,000. Olympique Lyon and Barcelona up their investments in women's soccer. With the future of women's soccer at stake, the league has to seize the moment like never before. And certainly the ESPN deal, where they're going to have a number of games on ESPN and ESPN2, do not hurt and will probably be good for soccer. And look at this. Advertising really significant. 87% of the top 30 advertisers that ran spots during the Women's World Cup did so during the men's last year, according to Media Radar. Most of the brands, as far as industries that generated significant dollars, might have been different. Technology, non-alcoholic beverage, beer, wine, finance, real estate, home furnishings, toiletries. The first part for the men. The second part for the women. You know what the bottom line is? They're all spending money. And that's more important probably than anything else. U.S. Soccer estimates an $8.5 million direct economic impact from the 2019 National Premier League finals, the Elite Finals, and the National Cup Finals at Dick's Sporting Goods Park in Colorado. Played July 19, 23rd, culmination of U.S. club soccer's national stuff, U13 to under 19 boys and girls. The expedited economic impact of the 2019 finals, about $8.5 million. Founded in 2001, the U.S. club soccer boasts member clubs from all 50 states, fostering the growth and development of soccer clubs throughout the country to elevate and create the best possible development environment. And then getting ready for the MLS championship, Captain Morgan toasting Major League Soccer, courtesy of a new agreement to become the league's official spiced rum and exclusive spirits partner through 2022. All of these companies become an official sponsor of the Chicago Fire, DC United, New York City FC, Philadelphia Union, and Seattle Sounders. Drink heartily. And finally, when you take a look at philanthropy, very important issue. EverFi, one of the top philanthropic organizations that currently exists, a profile of co-founder John Chapman, but they also have relationships with the MLB, NHL, NBA, and the recent alignment with the EPL, innovative program called Primary Stars, focusing on elementary age students, helping to bring that program to the U.S. And of course, as mental health issues and suicide rates climb across the U.S., EverFi last week launched important new courses to help colleges and universities support students during transitional periods, a critical need as students return to campuses across the nation next month. Great philanthropy, great sports. Well, that's it for Beyond the Scoreboard this week. We'd like to thank Dan Martin, Tanner Simpkins, Reed Weber, and a whole host of people for putting this together. We'd like to thank the wonderful Jim Thome for participating in the interview. And we'd like to thank you for listening and watching, and join us again next week when we go Beyond the Scoreboard.